Hey yo, what's up? We are back in Sepermeru so we can retry our run of Wine Cellar dungeon to see how far we can get with our new equipment. Right, so my voice is still not back to its normal state, or condition, whatever you would like to call it, but I am feeling way better than while recording the last video, so let's go! So, I have started by trying my luck with Chef the Drunk to see if, by defeating him, I will be able to obtain that legendary truncheon, but guess what? Nope, not even this time. Just because you have seen how to get to this area in the previous episode, I am not going to show it again, so I will just focus on the parts that you haven't seen just yet. This is the same area where we were fighting multiple serpent man skeletons, wights and skeletons themselves. You can find this age-worn scroll in here as well. This area comprises of multiple ruined buildings. You can somewhat figure out what happened to this place from all of the age-worn scrolls you can find across the entire dungeon. If you know more about this location, share with us down below in the comment section. I would be interested to see if any of you guys know what are the blood writings that you can find scattered around on the walls referring to, or maybe if someone has figured out what they say. Keep your eyes open as there is quite a few of these Khari steel boxes around this place, so try not to miss any of them as they seem quite important. And while Gorilla Glue, well, not knock, and this is a crucial mistake that I will pay for later on during this adventure, while Gorilla Glue was doing its business, I was looking around and admiring this place. I know why relic hunters swarmed this place. It is literally ridden with loot boxes that contain shiny stuff just like this gold bar and few gold coins. I highly advise to stay cautious in this area as there are not only multiple enemies around here, but you can also get surprised by one of the Khari Remnants just like I did. They are once called dungeon bosses, I guess we can call them mini bosses, but trust me, some of them can easily deal the amount of damage equivalent to 3 skull enemies. And there we go, we just found 1 out of 4 Khari Remnants you can find in Wine Cellar. Defeating it wasn't too hard, however there are multiple lesser foes that were interrupting with our progress. Thankfully, they drop a good reward for all your effort. And as for the Khari Remnant, it dropped Khari Steel and Fragment of Power. As I was about to embark on further dungeon infiltration, I have found yet another age-worn scroll giving us some more details on what happened in here. And before I go, I have got a question about this water well. Is this a landmark of any importance or just a regular ruined well within a fallen city? As I progressed through the cavern, I have found this waterfall and even more loot chests. One of them contained yet another golem part. Then I have followed the stream technically to another waterfall and found some more bling bling in the loot chest, strategically placed in a location where one wrong step could cost your life. Once I have robbed this chest of valuables, I have once again admired this dangerously beautiful location. Right, progress. Let's make some progress. I have followed this trail going up only to find more wights and skeleton archers to wipe the floor with. When most of them were dealt with, I have made one step too far and aggroed something that I didn't expect to be that tanky and taking on both me and Gorilla Glue while not even batting an eye. When it was on the move, I thought, right, that looks like a regular undead shellbug, followed by the, well, this one looks bigger, to, well, shit, I may as well fight it now. This was a rotted Hulk, one of the few 3 skull bosses in this location. It dropped a Khari water skin which apparently has 15 additional drinks, totaling at 25, as opposed to the standard 10 of the regular water skin, but why is it not reflected in a higher durability rating to make it easier to compare? I genuinely thought it doesn't do anything special, yet you get more out of it than from 2 regular water skins. Anyways, rant over, let's move on. This area is getting quite foggy as we progress. Is it because there is something lurking in the dark for us to see? And these are the blood writings that I mentioned earlier on. Do they mean anything or are they just decorative elements? Anyway, as I was wandering around, I have found yet another Khari Remnant that we had to deal with. I thought that the previous one was quite easy to deal with, so I took on lesser enemies to allow Gorilla Glue to focus on the Remnant. However, when I turned around, it didn't really seem that Gorilla Glue is doing too well. So I helped it in order to avoid a small-scale tragedy, as well as I have looted further 3 pieces of Khari Steel and a Fragment of Power. And another question to you Conan veterans. Does this obelisk mean anything, or is it yet another landmark of no significance? This looks kinda sus. Are there any bigger creatures than Rotted Hulk we should be afraid of? Well, I guess there is only one way to find out. But before I go there is something I forgot to visit. There must be something of significant power in here, since this area is kinda secluded from all the other places in this dungeon. I can't see what's inside, but I have to be very cautious. I was hovering in this area for quite a while before I decided to dive in, and then... yeah, I guess somebody decided to wipe the floor with me this time. Well, attempt number 3 to get the legendary truncheon, and let's have a look. Yes, finally, we got it. So, as per usual, I have let Nock on the loose to wreak havoc for me. And since I have decided to take absolutely nothing with me on this journey to pick up my stuff, I decided to loot the relic hunters in order to get some equipment to get me through this dungeon. So I've got 2 pieces of armor and 1 weapon, plus some food. And the only thing that has changed along the way was the spear, which was replaced by the hardened steel sword, which not only was faster, but it was also dealing a little bit more damage. My tactic for this run was to let Nock clear the path out so I could pass with minimal to no disruption and damage taken, since my clever ass decided to ignore any form of medicine to mend my wounds. Wanna hear something even more stupid than no medicine? Yeah, well, I didn't take anything to drink, so I had to pray for anything liquid-wise to loot for my character to quench their thirst, only to use wine that I have found in one of the whites. Nothing like going drunk into something that you have failed while being sober. Logic for the win. Right, so we are back at the place of our demise. I had to make sure I planned this well before jumping in to avoid the same kind of mistake I have done not so long ago. First of all, I have dropped everything I got along the way, as I knew that my previous burdens were on the verge of over-encumbrance, and that would get me killed for sure. Then I have scouted the area to see if my enemies came back to their spawn location. See, I don't want to run into them with nothing on me. That wouldn't be ideal. At this point I have noticed that massive bag of crap in the middle of this arena. Crap that once belonged to me. Let's see if I can retrieve it. One step at the time. We're gonna move forward to get my stuff. Nock, what do you think? Shall I? Screw it, I'm going in. I am so grateful for auto-equip of whatever you had before getting wrecked, as it enabled me to jump straight into the revenge fight. Well, even more clever ideas coming in right now. I had to swap daggers for the sword, and I didn't really care if I'm gonna get hit or not, so I just jumped straight into the fight. Now with a 3rd Khari Remnant down, I could pick up the Golem head, Khari Steel, as well as another Fragment of Power. Next thing was to pick up whatever valuables I have left behind in the bag, so that the most important things can be taken back with me to the HQ. And there was yet another age-worn scroll with some more lore to read about, with 3 loot chests nearby for us to plunder. Loot wasn't great this time, but it was always something. With all the excitement from defeating our arch-nemesis, I have run back out to the area with a Khari Remnant that I haven't defeated in this run prior to diving in deeper into this dungeon. And on that note, I would like to finish this episode. Thank you so much for staying until the end. Leave a like or dislike accordingly, comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't yet. If so, I shall see you in the next one. Deynon, out.